do you necessarily see AI as artificial intelligence or machine learning as a silver bullet for cybersecurity?
Well, hi, Michael. Machine learning is definitely a very useful tool in fighting cybercrime. However, it is not a silver bullet. It does have its limitations, as with other technologies. And the reason for that is because machine learning can also be used by the cybercriminals themselves. It's called adversarial machine learning, so they can also use it to overcome the machine learning technologies used by the defenders. So really, in order to protect users, to protect enterprises, you have to go with a multi-layered approach, to cover all your bases for the attacker trying to get in.
Now, as of current standing, we do know that at least 82% of the IT professionals in the world are looking at artificial intelligence to solve the problem of cybersecurity. You, on the other hand, produced a white paper about cybersecurity and saying, no, this is not it. So what is the alternative? What do you think should actually be the solution to this current issue?
Well, as I said, machine learning is one of the layers which can improve detection of cyber threats, of attacks, of malware. But there are also other things. For example, exploit detection, what we call DNA detection. So we're looking at the behavior of known malware, even and compare the unknown stuff to behavior which we are able to recognize as malicious, and also looking at the network layer, behavior on the network, which enables us to stop attacks such as the WannaCry major outbreak last year, which was spreading through Eternal Blue, one of the allegedly NSA leaked exploits, which was spreading on the network. So if your computer was not patched, then you would get this infection. So all these things, they can be detected on the network level. So these are just some of the examples of the various layers that you have to employ to prevent those infections. Because the reason why we have to take this multi-layered approach is because it is an uneven game. So as attackers, they have to find a single way of entry, while as defenders, we have to secure all the possible vectors that the attack can come from.
All right. Now, you, again, on the same conversation as ESET, did come up to say that, of course, we need to look at a multi-layered approach of humans and also machine. That is one of the best ways to tackle this current conversation. But tell me, what is the prevalence of cybersecurity in businesses so far globally?
Well, cybersecurity has been getting a lot more attention, which is appropriate given the increased number of attacks against enterprises coming from all sorts of sides. I mean, there's obviously the financially motivated attacks, such as ransomware, for example, and then there is also the APTs done by nation states, done by professionals, attack groups, which can have various motives. Competitive advantage or geopolitics. So it really is necessary to understand what the threats are, what the motivations of the attackers could be, even more important than who the attackers are themselves. So when we're speaking about attribution. So these are some of the reasons why the topic has been getting more popular and why businesses need to be paying more attention to.
And thank you again, Robert. Now, today morning, we woke up to a story from T-Mobile. Of course, we're looking at a good number of at least 2 million customers that are being affected by the data breach. Of course, that one from T-Mobile. And just as of recent, we all were up to date with the Facebook saga. This is something that is happening day in, day out. And we haven't seen a particular solution from the IT professionals of where to go from here. What is not being talked about?
Well, exactly as you say. I mean, when the news of another data breach sees the light of day, it doesn't come as surprising. There are just so many of them. And the explanations, it's a really good question. I mean, you have to analyze the attack. You have to do an incident response, try to figure out how the attackers got the data. It could have been, you know, from various entry points. Could have been a technical means, or it could have been human failure. So this is something which we also address. So it's not only necessary to secure your environment on a technical level, to have all the technical security solutions in place, but also to educate users, you know, not to click on links in order to have secure password, in order to have two-factor authentication. Because what we see from experience is that the majority of attacks, they don't originate from, or they don't employ those highly sophisticated techniques such as 0 days. Those are really interesting from a technical point of view, but they are on the minority, whereas the majority of the attacks, they come from really simple things such as phishing, such as spear phishing, you know, cracking passwords because they're simple, because people don't use two-factor authentication. So these are some of the things that people need to look into, and then they need to invest, you know, educating the employees in order not to fall prey to the attackers.